Hey, English 112, here to check in for week 5 of our course. This week you guys should be already done reading Othello, so yay, congratulations. You finished reading the play. And you journaled last week about Acts 4 and 5. This week you're going to take part in a discussion forum on Acts 4 and 5, and this is a bigger forum than what we've done before. So pay attention to the word count of your initial reply, which should be 250 to 500 words. Make sure that when you guys are replying or creating your initial post especially, you are citing the play. I made some notes, what I wanted you guys to do. So use examples from the play. Remember that you should be referring to Othello in your discussion forums. And when you cite your quotes, use MLA format. So we're in MLA for the first part of the semester, and we're moving into APA after the first part of the semester. So you guys learned MLA in English 111, but I am reviewing it with you this week. So remember that you need to cite the play in parenthetical citations, and you need to include, a lot of people have been doing like act and scene and line number, which is fine. Or you can just do page number if you choose, if you're using the PDF version that I provide, okay? So you don't have to do like Shakespeare or anything like that because we're all reading the same play. So act, scene, line number is fine, or page number is fine in parentheses, just to say where you got that quote. That's going to help you with your literary analysis anyway, to go back and make sure you have quotes and things like that for your paper. So that's always beneficial. Okay, so for your final discussion forum, you are choosing one of the 6 questions to respond to. So you do not have to do all 6. Please don't. Choose one and create your initial response. And then when you write your replies, remember your replies should be substantial, minimum of 150 words, and they should always refer back to the text and add some insight to what people are saying, okay? Not just, hey, I liked what you said there. Okay, really add something there. And that's your final discussion forum. So you can read through and read different responses. That's really helpful for your understanding of the play too. So just be aware of that. Okay. Also this week you are to watch the film O. So you can do that one of 2 ways. There's a link to purchase the film. I had originally found the link to purchase it on YouTube, and it was like $2.99 to rent the movie. For some reason that has disappeared. So the link that I've updated it to now is Amazon. So you'll need an Amazon account to do that, but it's like $3.99 to rent the movie. However you choose to watch the film, you need to watch the film because you're going to write a paper on it. And I am offering a free viewing of the movie on Friday, February 22nd at 9:30 a.m. And it will be in the Waller building, which is where I'm located, and it'll be in room 124. 124. So it's a computer lab, which kind of stinks, but it's not a big deal. I don't expect a bunch of people to show up, but we can pull chairs in if we need to, and you guys can take notes. Take notes with paper and pencil, not on the computers, because we don't want typing during the film. The film is rated R. There's some graphic scenes. I mean, you read Othello. There's graphic things that happen in Othello. This is a modern adaptation of Othello, modern-ish. I mean, it's from like 20 years ago, but still. So you'll see, you know, actors that you know, and they don't use all Shakespearean language. They take the story and they make it in today's society and present day. And you're going to write a comparative literary analysis about this next week, in the next like coming weeks. So you really want to take good notes when you watch the movie about similarities you see between the characters in the play and differences you see. And essentially, we're going to be answering the question of whether or not this modern adaptation does a good job of portraying what Shakespeare portrayed in his play. That's essentially what you're doing. And you will find some additional research to back yourself up on that. And we'll get into that next week. So this week we're watching the movie. You've already finished the play. Okay, that's key. You're also going to review MLA format this week. So I made a couple of notes of things I want you to know. There is a PowerPoint available for you. I'm opening the PowerPoint now in Moodle. So this just goes over what a literary analysis is and what MLA format is. You should know this. This should be review for you. All right, so remember that basic MLA formats, Times New Roman 12-point font, double spaced. There's a header at the top of every page, last name, page number. There's a heading at the top of the first page. Your title should be centered. Times New Roman, no bolding, no underlining, anything like that. The best place for you to go to ever check format questions is Purdue OWL. Purdue OWL, type it in, and it's a writing lab, and it has every answer you could possibly need. It's awesome, and I always suggest that to my classes. Your in-text citations are parenthetical, meaning they're in parentheses right after you either summarize, quote, paraphrase, whatever. You cite. Make sure you include the first word or couple of words from your works cited page in your parentheses, meaning if you have an author and it's one author, then you write their last name, page number. That's what goes inside the parentheses. If you have more than one author, 3 or less, then you write all 3 of their last names, page number. And that's what goes inside the parentheses. If you have more than 3 authors, you write the first author's name and then the words et al, E-T-A-L, and others is what it means. And you include the page number, okay? If you don't have an author, then you include the title of the journal article or the title of the website or whatever and the page number. So if it's, you know, how to cite in text is the name of the article, in your parentheses you would have in quotation marks how to cite, in quotation marks, page number, okay? And there's examples of that in your PowerPoint. Remember that your works cited page is the last page of your paper. It gets its own page. It's alphabetical order. You have the complete full citation, hanging indentations. Purdue OWL tells you what the different formats should be. And when we do our research next week looking for articles on O and Othello and characterization or whatever you're focusing on to compare between the two, I'll talk to you about the LRC as well. But for this paper, you may use the LRC. You may end up using other stuff too. So we need to make sure we know how to cite. Purdue OWL will always help you. You are writing a literary analysis. So for your literary analysis paper, you are using the library database, ProQuest or NC Live. I'll talk about that next week for your research. And you're citing the play, the movie, and 2 other articles. So there should be 4 things on your works cited page that you're citing for this paper. Then I go over expectations for an academic paper. All of these things are my expectations when you're writing a paper. Be sure you review this. And then the grading criteria, just let you know how I'm grading. If your paper is plagiarized, meaning you either don't have a works cited page, you don't have in-text citations, then I don't read the paper. It is a 25% fail, done, if you do not have those 2 things. Okay, this is English 112. You know the importance of citing. Make sure you're doing it. And then I give you some helpful websites, library database, Purdue OWL, Grammarly, okay? Couple other things just to remember when you create a works cited, that you use for punctuation for a play or a movie title, meaning Othello and O, that goes in italics. The titles of your journal articles will go in quotation marks, and there's a really easy way to remember this. Longer things go in italics. So a play title, a book title, a magazine title, right? A newspaper title overall. those go in italics. A shorter thing goes in quotation marks. A poem, a journal article, a newspaper article, so on and so forth, a song, okay? So if I have the New York Times and I have an article from there, New York Times would go in italics, the title of the article would go in quotation marks. If I have some journal on literature, the title of the journal would go in italics, the title of the article would go in quotation marks. I have the album Lemonade by Beyonce. Lemonade goes in italics, Hold Up goes in quotation marks. Does that make sense to everyone, hopefully, okay? So that's important to know. What else do y'all need to know? Just remember your header, your heading format, all of that fun stuff from MLA, okay? Because that's important. So this week, things that you have due are the final discussion forum and a review quiz on MLA. So be sure that you use the PowerPoint and take notes, and then you take your review quiz and you submit your discussion forum, and you're watching a movie, okay? Next week, we will research, and we will create a thesis and an outline in MLA format for your paper. And then the following week, you will write a rough draft and submit it, okay? So that's where we're at. Your rough draft will be due by March 17th on a Sunday. Excuse me, let's see here. Your rough draft will be due Sunday, March 10th. And then you guys will do a peer edit, and there's a short window of time to do the peer edit, and then your final draft will be due March 17th, okay? So we do a bunch of work to lead up to it, and then once you get the paper written, it's expected that you revise it fairly quickly, okay? So if you guys have any questions, be sure to contact me, but this week, you know, is just a little bit, you're watching a movie, you're doing a discussion forum, and you're taking a quiz. So that's what you're doing this week. Unless you didn't finish reading the play, because then you really need to do that first. If you have any questions, make sure you email me. Have a great week. I'll check in with you guys later.